Welcome back to Leader's Tool Chest. My name is Keith Koger. I've been in production management for about 5 years. I've total 15 years experience. Today, on our episode, I want to talk about the new book, Invent and Wander by Jeff Bezos. I'll pull it up over here so you guys can see. It's a very interesting read. It's definitely one of the first books I've read this year. It's opened my eyes to what type of person that Jeff Bezos is. Jeff Bezos is the founder of Amazon. He's previously CEO. Now he's running Blue Origin. He owns the Washington Post. He has a very, very extensive background in leadership and how to develop a business. His book is extremely interesting in the second half. The first half is broken down into its shareholder letters from the foundation and beginning of Amazon back in 1997, and it leads up until COVID hits here. I think it's 2019, 2020 era. So it's a very, I have to say this book is not for everyone. The first half of it, like I said, it breaks down into the shareholders. Each one is talking about the reason I thought it was interesting is seeing how the different thoughts coming up. Like, I remember the history of Amazon, but this is like very thorough on each time they made a decision to go to a different path. Like when he decided to go with the Fire Stick, when they very, very publicly failed with the Fire Phone. It was just, it's incredible seeing each time they went through these different growth portions of their business, like how he viewed it as a failure or success. And really, Jeff Bezos doesn't really have a tolerance for people thinking that failures are failures. He likes to take everything as a growth opportunity, and I personally agree with that. I think that's an amazing way to look at things. Like, he's at the point now where they're a $1 trillion company. So how is it you keep growing from that point on? The only way you can do that is by being riskier and taking those steps and not backing down from great ideas. So really, that's a beautiful thing. The second half of the book actually talks about his ideologies, where he came from. I was blown away that he was going to be a theoretical physicist. That's fascinating to me. And then he decided to go into computer science instead and become an electrical engineer. That just goes to tell you how very intelligent this man was. And another little interesting part too in this book, the introduction by Walter Isaacson. He compares Jeff Bezos to Leonardo da Vinci, which is, I was like, wow, that's pretty astounding. But it's because not necessarily the amount of things he's done, but the way that he looks at the world. Da Vinci was all about like interpreting nature, interpreting science. He was into painting, the arts. That's exactly how Jeff Bezos is. He doesn't just look at one little aspect of the world and ask how he can change it. He wants to change lots of different things. And that kind of leads us to, now he's part of Blue Origin. He's the founder, but he's developing how we can get off this planet. And it's very interesting to me, the way he looks at everything. And then that leads to, his story about how, he was he grew up like basically poor. Then he decided to go after all these different things, but then he gets into his ideologies, and he's always about every day is day one. And I really, really like the way he thinks about that. Just the breakdown of, you're always going to give it your best on your day one. So every day should be your day one. And that really resonates well with me. I personally think that the most difficult thing you can do every single day is to have a positive attitude and to go after being your best version of yourself, and to give everyone 100% of what you have, because every day is different. You have different things going on in your life. And I think, too, this is also what's led to the Great Resignation. The reason all these people are quitting their jobs and they're wanting to find something deeper meaning for their life. So that's coming up on my next episode of this show. So definitely stay tuned for that. And but yeah, definitely this book is it's astounding if you want to learn more about how someone with his level of intelligence was able to stand up basically $1 trillion multiple trillion-dollar businesses as far as I'm concerned. They just haven't hit that valuation yet. Um, Great read. I know, like I said, the first half is kind of boring if you don't really care about how he got everything off the ground. But the second half is definitely interesting in his ideology. But I recommend this book if you are wanting to see where your potential could take. I always go back to Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, um, Elon Musk. Those guys, they're kind of the Edisons of their day because Nicholas Tesla, he was absolutely brilliant, genius, innovator, but he didn't understand finance and business. He was all about how can I make things better for the world, and you have to be able to do both. You have to understand that what you're doing in the world, you can't do more and affect more things unless you completely understand the finance side of things. And that's where guys like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they have a very strong understanding that the only way you can truly change the way the world works is through finance. So they're going out and finding the funding and being able to perform their will, if you will. And it's definitely a great book. So I highly recommend it. If you get a chance, leave me a comment. I ask again if you can. Subscribe to my page, The Leader's Tool Chest. I really love reading these books and giving you guys informative information about them, and I look forward to seeing you again. Like I said, my next episode, I'm working on The Great Resignation. I'm going to start putting more subjects in, not just reading books, but, things that I feel like leadership people need and how I can continue to grow people around me. And I'm just looking forward to seeing you again, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you again.